Hey everyone, today we're going to go through how you can build an AI landing page auditor. And this is something you can use as a lead magnet, something you can sell to your customers. And if you work in the design space yourself, something you can sell yourself. But even if you don't work in all those spaces, this is a good project to build as a learning exercise, or even just to run on your own landing pages to get some actionable feedback. So the core of this build is really taking a screenshot of your landing page and then getting a LLM, large language model, that can take image input to ingest that screenshot and then give you feedback. So for the build today, what we're going to do is we're going to build it as a lead magnet, but the core logic will stay the same regardless of if you're building it as a service or anything like that. So as a lead magnet, what you usually start with is some way to capture details from your prospects. So for that, I'm going to be using Tally. You can use any form builder. You can use Google Forms, Typeform, whatever you want. For this example, I'm just going to use Tally because I enjoy using Tally and the forms it makes are quite nice looking in my opinion. So for this, I'm just going to say AI landing page auditor example. And generally here in a lead magnet, you'll collect contact details like business email or work email. So I'm just going to say email, and then for this lead magnet, because it is a landing page auditor, we need to get the website of your prospect. So here I'll say this, so website. And if this was a real lead magnet, you'd probably want to add some additional instructions here, like AI will automatically analyze your page for conversion rate improvements. Something along these lines. You can give your whole spiel here, but main thing is you need to capture an email as well as the website. So what I'm going to do now is just press publish, and that's all good to go. So what I'm going to do now is drag in the Tally block. If you're using Google Forms or Typeform, you drag in the relevant block there. So I'll drag in Tally, which has a make.com integration. And what we're going to do is watch for new responses. So I just need to choose the form. So AI landing page, watch for example. And that looks good. So now every time someone submits this, we should get a new thing here. So if I run this to start monitoring, and then I test this, so test.com, and then the website, let's just put in my own website, Dumpling AI. And if it's a real lead magnet, as I said, make sure you add more instructions, capture all the other details you want, like company size, what they want to achieve, their budget, all that sort of stuff, but not super relevant for this tutorial. So I've captured the details. So I've got the fields, so the email I just entered as well as the website. And then what I need to do now is come here to Dumpling AI. I'm going to stop this before it keeps running. Okay. I'm going to update this. So before I was hard coding it because I was just testing this out. So what I'm going to do now is hook it up to the form. So let's put in this website, which I'm capturing from my form. If you're using Typeform Google, it's very much the same. And you can sort of tweak these settings as you want. I've got a wider viewport just to make sure I don't get like a mobile version of the website. So that was scrape. And then once we get the screenshot, we go to our AI model, our large language model. So I'm using GPT-4o here. You can use Anthropic or whatever you want. To use GPT-4o in make.com, you will need a OpenAI API key. So I get this question a lot. It is not ChatGPT, it is OpenAI's API offering. So you will need to get an API key. You can get it at platform.openai.com and generate your API key. This is a paid service, so you will need to pay. Make.com and Tally both have pretty generous free plans, so you don't necessarily need to pay for this build, but OpenAI definitely you will need to pay, but it is quite affordable, so I wouldn't be super worried about that. Anyways, to continue with the build, we've got the screenshot now. So I'm using Dumpling AI, which is my product, but there's a couple of other products out there as well that will let you take screenshots. I don't think there is a built-in screenshot functionality in make.com that you can use for free, so you will probably need to use some sort of service there to take the screenshot. So you've got the screenshot URL, you come over to ChatGPT, and let me just delete this quickly. So what I'm using here is the vision module, so analyze images. So what we want to do is come to the model here and choose GPT-4o. So for the prompt, it's going to kind of depend on how you want your lead magnet to be. So as an example, if you're a design agency and trying to get more clients, you might want to make reference to certain principles or practices that you mention on your landing page. So maybe you're sort of structuring it as a landing page roast is what I've seen some designers do. So maybe you want to like put that into your prompt, and then maybe you can even mention some of the services that you can upsell these prospects to, or even you could include a meeting link in your prompt, right? So like at the end of the critique, include a link as well as next steps, blah, blah, blah. So you can sort of templatize a little bit, but for this example, I don't run a design agency, so I'm not super sure what to put here. So I'm just going to keep it super simple and just have this very basic prompt. Anyways, so you got the prompt, you've chosen your model. Make sure you increase your tokens so that the generated content is long enough. If it's really short, then the generated output will be, so 300, your generated output will be probably like 200-ish, 200 and something words. If you want the output to be a bit longer, you'll have to make sure the max tokens is a bit longer. So I'm going to put out 1,000, which is generally a good starting point. And here we just got to put in the screenshot. So this is where I put in the screenshot from Dumpling AI. And once you've done all that, that should work. So if I run this all from the beginning, so it's watching again, I'm going to copy this, go here to my form and enter it again. So test2.com, press submit. You'll see that it is running already. So tally is triggered, Dumpling's taken the screenshot, Dumpling is taking the screenshot. So let's quickly look at the screenshot. So this is a screenshot of my website. I haven't taken the full page one because it's up to you what you want to do. I've just taken this because it's faster. And then now we're just waiting for GPT-4o to adjust the image and give feedback. So let's see. Design and layout, minimalist and clean design. Thank you. Thank you very much, GPT-4o. Feels a bit too empty. Yes, I've had that feedback before. So if you look at it's a bit empty, right? A bit boring. What else? Header navigation. Yeah, that's a good idea. Copywriting. Yeah, it's actually pretty good. Like pretty generic at this point, but not too bad considering how basic my prompt was. So you can be a bit more creative here. If you have certain principles that you like to refer to, all that sort of stuff, just chuck it in the prompt and it'll come up in the result as well. Cool. So now we've got the output. We need to somehow give it to the prospect, right? Because otherwise they've submitted their details into this form and there's just nothing left. So what I'm going to do now is, let's say we want to deliver the results via email. And that's a good way to confirm that they've given you the correct email as well, right? So what you're going to do is either use the Gmail module and send an email, or just use the email service that you use. I use Gmail, so I just press Gmail, send an email. I've already connected my Gmail, but if you haven't, just press add and follow the prompts there. For the recipient, you're just going to get the email from the tally form submission, so work email here. Subject would just be like, let's put in website, and then landing page roast. Right. Then for the content, we can just put in the output from ChatGPT. You can see here it says use HTML tags. So I might want to update the prompt to tell it to output HTML, because right now it's outputting, as you can see here, Markdown. So Markdown won't render properly in this module. So let's say output email HTML. Right. Cool. So this is all looking good. So yeah, let's run it now. So I'm going to, actually before I do that, let's make this a bit better, right? So actually, let's keep it simple. So usually I would make this a bit more detailed. So at the end, I might say, after submission, check your email inbox for personalized landing page roast. Just give some instructions so that after your prospects submit, they know what to expect. Otherwise, they're like, I submitted my details and I haven't received anything. So yeah, anyways. So let's go back here and let's do a submission. So I'm going to do my own email this time. And let's make sure we're running our automation. So let's submit there. So we've submitted. Let's quickly go. It's running. It will sometimes take a bit of time to write super detailed review, critique, whatever you're doing, landing page roast, however you want to brand it. Then back the email. So it has not formatted properly. Let's have a quick look. See what the output is like. Okay, so it's not outputting HTML, which is the problem here. So your response should be in HTML. In HTML. Okay. So let's try that. And I think in this case, what I'm going to do, instead of running it from scratch, let's just run this model manual, this step manually. So I'll paste in the screenshot URL. So I'm just skipping these, so I don't have to keep doing resubmissions. I'm just running this module only just to try to get this right first. I might also actually change the subject line. This kind of looks a bit ugly. So once this finishes running, we'll get that fixed as well. To look. Okay, that is looking much better. It's looking much better. Okay, so let's see how this looks in the email, right? So I'm going to copy the HTML and let's just run this module. So this is the output from ChatGPT, and I'm going to just send it to myself. Let's go back. Nice. This is looking really good. Awesome. And like this is with a super simple prompt, right? Like I said before, if you have principles you refer to, if you have branding guidelines, or like you just want to style this a little bit more, you can put that all into the GPT-4o prompt to get a more personalized output. This tutorial, I'm just showing you sort of how the different pieces hang together. So you have a form input, you have something to take a screenshot of the landing page, you have your AI module, your large language model, which has to be multimodal when taking images so that it can then generate that personalized feedback, and then you can respond to the client with a email module. And what I actually like to do in my ones, so I don't do landing page audits because I don't run a design agency, but what I do in my lead magnets is at the end, I usually like to format it such that at the end of the thing, there's like a call to action where it's like, just respond to this email and with any thoughts, because I'm sending these reviews from my personal email. So if the prospect responds, I get it in my inbox straight away. And that's a great way to start a conversation. But yeah, that's basically it for this video. If you have any thoughts, questions, or feedback, feel free to leave a comment. If you need any help with AI automations, anything like that, I do offer AI automation services. There's a link in the description if you're interested. And with that, I'll see you in my next video.